No more bad luck. That's the 11-11 wish. No more bad luck.
Yeah, I think you're done. You're done.
We
Maxed
had our
out.
share, guys.
You've maxed out.
You're tuned in to the Skirts Up Show with Samantha Mandel. Same truth, same wild ride, but keep your panties on.
What's up, Skirts Up Squad? It is Samantha, and today we have a reoccurring guest. We have Miss Erin with us. She is originally the creator, founder of Seacoast Listening Lounge, but now we are calling it the Unmute Room. Is that correct?
The unmuted room. You just missed a D.
Oh no, we can't miss the D. We need the D.
Very important letter.
I literally have a shirt that says she loves the D, but I mean, it's referring to Dallas.
This isn't even going to be a podcast. It's just going to be us laughing and giggling because that's what we did last time.
And it's one of my favorite episodes. Like,
that was
literally.
really good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So what had happened was I wanted to reconnect with past guests and see where everyone was. And then when you and I were talking, we were like talking about really just kind of the struggles and like ups and downs of business in general. And then I was just like, well, this sounds like a podcast episode because one, it's real. And then two, it's like what you do in the unmuted room with your clients. And so I was like, well, let's just smash this together and make a baby.
Perfect. I love it. Let's do it.
So here we are.
Yeah. Okay. So business, we're both business owners. I don't know about you. I don't think maybe you did. I don't know. But for me, I didn't have a business background. I just had an idea and I was like, oh, I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to just start this business and it's going to be amazing and super successful, like right off the bat. Like who wouldn't get this? Like who doesn't want to be listened to? Do you have
Love that confidence?
Yeah. Do you have a business background, Samantha? Like,
okay, well, when you say business background, like
yeah.
you ran like an office, right? No?
No, I was in a legal career. I was paralegal working for a nonprofit, so definitely not for profit. And so yeah, I literally didn't take any classes, no business experience in terms of running a business.
Okay.
Or setting like those things up, all the things that you have to do, like get an LLC and get a bank account.
Gotcha.
And so I didn't have any of that. It was just blind moving forward.
I mean, I would say that I was blind just, going with emotions and Googling how to do this, like in that aspect. But I mean, I was like a general manager of like a 5-department thing and had a lot of autonomy on creating ideas and events and just like running the thing. So I feel like I had at least like a operational
Okay.
idea,
All right.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And all of those skills are really helpful. And the skills that I learned in doing my former legal work, obviously was the foundation for the type of work that I'm doing and the business that I had. But the other side of things and those expectations, I think I was really naive about it. And what I found was, I'm like, am I the only one that feels this way? That feels a little bit isolated, that I don't really, at the beginning anyway, where I was like, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? And I said yes to everything. People are like, oh, you need this computer system. Oh, you need to join this group. You
Oh
need to do this. I was like,
no.
yes, yes, yes. Not realizing, because I was like, all right, if I say yes to this thing, that's going to be the thing that makes it all come together. So I don't want to say no. And then I was like, Erin, what are you doing? Like, I'm spending money that I didn't have. It's not like I had some fairy godmother or genie that was like, here's this huge pot of money to go start your business.
Yeah.
It was just whatever I had. And feeling like that pressure to make it successful right away,
Mhm.
and not really have not having an understanding of, or a misguided understanding of what success meant. I don't know if you felt that way.
I I feel like because I had the podcast that I feel like I had the basis of everything that I needed, or at least I had the understanding of like you can make things work with like the bare minimum and like not have that pressure of, oh, I need this service. Okay, sure. Like I feel like I had already had that kind of out of the system, but it was definitely very isolating because it's one thing to run like an established business or to have a podcast that's, more so like a hobby. If it starts making money, great. But now you have like a business and it's really hard to figure out how to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and what is the thing that what is that? Is it social media? Is it networking? Is it, and knowing where to network? That's the big thing too. And I was just joining all of the things,
uh-huh.
not, not really. I think the step that I missed was, who are the people, who are my clients? Who are the people that would be reaching out for a service like this? And so I didn't target those rooms, those groups. I went for everything, and ended up joining so much that it was overwhelming, like to the point where I almost didn't show up. One, I was nervous, like going through the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm showing up in these spaces where people are, I mean, like, just so inspiring. Women, primarily women, very inspiring, very together, very successful in what society would determine is successful. And I'm just like, I have this idea and this concept, and I just started this business and I'm brand new, and, trying to feel like I wanted to keep up with that. And so getting nervous about that, getting anxious about that, showing up in those spaces, to the point where I was like, all right, you joined all of these things, but you're having trouble even going to those things because can you show up at their level, is how I
Mm.
felt. Um, and so I almost came up with reasons not to go do the things that I signed up for.
That makes
Which
sense.
financially wasn't the best decision. Like, Aaron, you paid for
Right.
stuff. Like, why aren't you showing up? You're a member, show up. Um, so yeah, it was just a lot of spaghetti at the wall, having a misunderstanding of what success is. And what I have since learned in the 2 years of owning this business and running this business is that it's not all about the dollars and cents. It's about, hey, I met somebody today and explained what my business is and what I'm trying to do. And it really resonated with that person. And are like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard of. Like, why aren't more people doing this? And I'm like, all right, that's success. That right there. Like, it wasn't
Mhm.
monetary exchange, but it was somebody who gave value to the work that I'm doing. And I'm like, great, I feel successful in that moment. And today, that's a success. So just kind of reimagining what that looks like. It's just not necessarily, I think we're so focused on success being what's in our bank account.
Mhm. Yeah, I know that when I started this, I was like really like whoa, everyone needs this and I've got the answers. And like I learned something about myself is that I'm a fixer.
Mm.
So like when someone wants to, I'm using the word complain because I just can't think of a better word, but like when you want to like complain about the same thing over and over and over, I don't want to do that. I don't have the time for that. And if you're going to talk about the same thing over and over again, let's fix it. I have the tools. Let's fix it.
Mhm.
um and I also thought that when I started, I had like I knew who my referral partners would be. And I thought that I belonged with therapists and
Mhm.
that like, I'd become really good friends with therapists because like what I do definitely isn't a replacement, but it's like going to like help remove blocks so that like the therapist can do more work, like, you know, and more productive work with their clients. And I was not welcomed into any therapy things. It's like they saw it as like some sort of competition, or, and they like definitely made me feel like I wasn't educated enough, or like, you know, and
Mm,
so that is really what like shut me down for a while. Cause like
yeah.
I thought I went in thinking that like I had the pathway and like who my people were going to be, and they were not.
Mm, hmm. Yeah. And that's really hard too, because, that the competition piece gets me. Like, there is so much work that is needed in this world right now, and different boxes, paths, opportunities that people need. It's not that people need, like, all right, this is your only option and you have to take that option. And anything outside of that, it's not credible and you shouldn't be doing that. And like, just, but it's not about that. If people just stood back and like, it's not a competition. Like, there's so much need to go around that everyone has their space and their expertise and what they're really good at. And there are people that need each of those things.
Yeah.
There are a plethora of people who need
And
each
they're
of those
gonna
things.
resonate. Like something's gonna resonate different. Like how you talk about the unmuted room and how it helps people versus how like what I do. Like
Mhm.
someone may not be ready for what I do, and what you do is perfect, and that's what resonates with them, and so they're gonna do that, and that's great.
Right. Right.
And then, you know, like it's just, it's not like a this or that.
Yeah.
It can be this right now and then
Yep.
maybe this later. Like it just, I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And that's why I think those referrals are important, because, and I do work with therapists. Like, I have
Good.
therapist referrals on my website because, I know that I'm not trying to do what they're doing and they're not trying to do what I'm doing. It's like, all right, there are so many people that are looking to be in therapy, but they can't get into therapy because there's a wait list, but they need something. They
Uh-huh.
don't want to just sit there and not have anyone listen to them. So I'm a good bridge while they're waiting to get in to see their therapist, or somebody who's been in therapy for years and years and has all the tools, and the therapist is ready. And I don't know the proper term, but like, to graduate them. Like, hey, look, you have all the tools, and they've got all these people behind them that they need to open their schedule up for. And they have this person who's like really ready to leave the nest, but maybe they're hesitant because the patient or client is hesitant because they've had this for so long and it's a support and they don't want to lose it. I'm a
Hmm.
good to say, hey, look, I understand you have the tools. We've worked for a really long time. I understand that you still want a space where you can talk. Erin's a great place for that. So I can refer for people who are not fit for my services, or who just need kind of a bridge until they can get in to see a therapist, or the other way, like, people have been in therapy for a really long time and maybe they're ready to move on from therapy in that sense, but still want some support of someone to talk to. So that's how we're cross referring. And I love that, because it's not like yours is bad and mine is good, or whatever, the reverse of that. It's,
Right.
hey, there's enough work for all of us to do what we're doing, and we're doing it well, and find a way to work together, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's about, what does that individual need? What does that person need? And why are we deciding that for them?
Yeah. Would you say that you kind of also play like an accountability partner in that example that you just gave of like maybe they graduated from their therapist, but like they just like they personally feel like they're not ready even though they know they're ready, you know, and then now they lean on to you as like kind of that accountability of like I had the tools. So I'm gonna talk it out with you and we're gonna make sure that I remember and use my tools. Like is that kind of like what I'm hearing?
If they want that, the unmuted room really is not, it's not my place to give advice or to make somebody accountable or to give them a plan unless they ask for it. Like, I'm not coaching in the sense that, um, what you talked about earlier is that I'm the place, if somebody wants to talk about something over and over and over and over and over again, great. If you want to talk about it one time or 100 times, it really doesn't make a difference to me. But if someone's like, okay, I did that and I got it out of my system, great. Now they're ready. You're a referral partner. I'm going to refer you to Samantha because now she's ready to do that work. So I'm not really making those decisions about what someone needs and how they want me to hold them accountable. It's really driven on what they need and what they recognize themselves. And then I will offer that based on what they're voicing to me.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Have you found the sweet spot on like where you're able to connect with possible clients now?
Yeah, so it was really about working on my messaging, working on who this space is for, making sure that that was clear because I had an additional hurdle in starting a business. I wasn't just opening a new business, I was opening a new business concept. So
Concept.
like double whammy, double whammy. Like, Erin, what are you thinking? Like, so it took me a little while to figure out what that right messaging was and who that would resonate with. And now I have found that sweet spot. And now it's like, okay, well, where are those rooms? What rooms make sense? Joining a chamber, that's been really good.
Okay,
Um,
that's one of the things that I'm toying with.
yeah, I
I've done
joined.
a few meetings with the Chamber of Commerce, like just kind of like feeling it out, but then I wasn't sure if like actually joining like was the move.
I mean, I found it really helpful. I think people genuinely want to connect you and they want to know about you. And yeah, it's just a great way. And it's more cost effective, I think, like versus some of those non-chamber membership groups, which are really expensive. They're valuable, but they're very expensive.
Like the
So for somebody,
BNIs or whatever.
yeah, exactly. So for somebody that's just starting out, like that's a really good cost-effective way to get in front of some people who really want to help you, who are invested in seeing your business grow, because if your business is growing, then the community is growing. So that makes
Mhm.
sense. And yeah, I've been really happy with that path so far. So I'd
Cool.
recommend it. You should do it.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
have a
good to
lot of
know.
local ones around you?
A lot of local.
Chambers? Like, do you have several that you can join, or is it?
There's definitely one. So one of the other things that I've like been battling is my location. So like hypnotherapy, what I've learned seems to kind of go against like the Bible Belt grain, you know?
Oh,
I
yep.
had no idea that that would be a challenge when I started it, so that was like a surprise. So there is a college town that's not too far. It's like 25, 35
Okay.
ish minutes away. And so
Yep.
I've been venturing out to UGA area, Athens.
Yeah.
Um, and that's gone really well. That's the chamber that I've like met with a few times and
Yep.
like was like, oh, okay, I kind of fit in. One of the things that's really, really cool is that there's a member of the chamber and his business, like he focuses on marketing. And so
Mm.
he has his own side thing where he created these mystery dinner dates where
Ooh.
so like where business owners like around, in the surrounding areas, you can sign up for this mystery dinner date. And on the day of the dinner, you get to find out where you're going. And then you're seated with five other people. And then after dinner, you're sent another secret location. And then that's where everyone who went to like different tables and different restaurants can
Yeah.
come meet together and like get together.
We have that here. We started it. It was started up here. It's Seacoast Dinner Series. Seacoast
Oh,
Dinner
that's so
Series.
cool.
Yeah, yeah,
These must
yeah.
be becoming a thing. Like they must
I
be
think
becoming
it
popular
is.
and it's cool.
Yeah, and I think people, I don't know if it's the same group, but they, I don't know where it started. They developed an app. It was tech people, I think, that started this idea and created the app, or I'm not a tech person, computer
Me either.
program that sets this all up and matches people. So you fill out the survey with your preferences and what you're looking for. Like,
In
are
your
you like,
survey, like does it end with like put whatever emoji like describes you?
no.
Okay.
Just no. But that's a really interesting one. I like that. What I did not like though, and I think they may have stopped doing this, but after you have the night out, like the next day you get a survey of, a feedback form, and you had to like rate the individual people, like at like a scale of 1 to 5. And I'm
Oh,
guessing it's probably because um like if you were matched with that, if you both did it again, like they're trying to avoid matching certain people back up
mm.
again. But I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to say
Yeah, I
like
would not be sending in a
with a
survey.
smiley face or a sad face, like, so
Right.
that was my feedback. I'm like, great concept, love it. I think it's super cool. It's a great way for people to meet other people. And ours is divided up into, are you looking for a relationship? Are you looking to talk about
Mm-hmm.
business? Are you
Mm-hmm.
just want to have some intellectual stimulation? uh, which I think is all really cool. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan, and I think it is growing across the country. I'd be curious to see if it's the same group.
Yeah, it's been really nice. So my husband, he's been like his own business
Mhm.
operator for many many years, and one of the things he always said to me is you need to get out and you need to network.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, so to me, like going to a chamber meeting or, like that's networking to me.
Yep.
But then he was trying to, for, years, trying to explain that networking is also just going and hanging out with people.
Mhm.
It was really hard for me to grasp. And so I had gone to like an actual networking thing. I think this was last Friday that morning with like mental health like people.
Mhm.
And then after that, I was going to a boudoir studio that I've done some work with and like
Mhm.
podcasting with like off and on. And that was just supposed to be like my fun, like unwind, like I'm just gonna hang out with people and do some breath work. And then we did I don't know if you've seen those like viral things where people are like painting their butts and like their hand and their foot and then they're printing it on.
No.
Okay, always wanted to do it. And so we did that. We were like painting each other's butts and like doing butt prints.
Just an excellent segue from my last episode with you, Samantha. Check your crack.
Check your yes, literally. So at this fun event, like 5 people left like asking me questions about my business, asking for contact information. And from those 5, there were 2 particularly that I was afterwards where I was like, man, I wish I would have gotten their contact information because I just kept thinking about them. There was one in particular. I remember she came up to me and she just seemed like very timid, but like had, general, like genuine questions. And I just
Yeah.
remember like a few days later, I was like, I wish I could message her and give her a hug because I just feel like she needs
Oh,
it. And she ended up reaching out to me and like she has a session now coming up. And I was
that's
like,
amazing.
huh, how that works. I went out for fun. And
Yeah.
the one time I go out for fun, that's where I get some, movement, traction.
Yeah, I think that makes total well, first, congratulations. That's awesome. And I think in those settings, and even in like official networking settings, where you get the most traction is where you are yourself, and people want to know you. They want to know who you are.
Mhm.
But it's so often, a coach I've worked with, she's like, calls it pitch slapping, where it's like, okay, we're going to do a 1-to-1, and I'm going to spend 10 minutes telling you about my business, and you're going to spend 10 minutes telling me about your business. And then we're going to say, okay, what do you need? What kind of referral? And then we say that thing, and then we go, and then we don't ever connect again. But the
Uh-huh.
ones that have been like, the ones that stick are like, they know about your kids, they know about like where you went to school and how many pets you
Mhm.
have, and like they just get to know you, like what makes you laugh, what makes you tick. And then they're like, they trust you and they know you, and then they love what you're doing. And so then they come up with all these people that would be great. I know a person that would be great for Samantha.
Exactly.
Like that's what it
Mhm.
is. It's not the what can you do for me? What can I do for you? How do we get this? Like it, there's no meaning in there. And I think that's what makes networking so tough, is that there, in some ways, it feels so rigid. It feels like you have to follow this certain set of rules. And then you do it and you're like, I just spent all this time doing all these one-to-ones and they're not going anywhere. That's because you're just in it for that exchange. You're not in it really to get to know the people. And when you really do it for that reason, I think that's when really, that's the magic sauce. That's when it happens. Um, and just also having the confidence in what you're doing. And for me, at least in the beginning, I was connecting with people who have been in business for a very long time. I felt like, or their business, from my perspective, seemed to be going really well. They were successful. And I was like, how do I fit in here? Like, how do I add
Mhm.
value to this conversation? Like, what can I possibly give to this person that they don't already
I
have?
still feel like that
Yeah,
sometimes.
like, I feel like I'm just taking, like,
Uh-huh.
what can, and now I'm starting to make connections, and that feels amazing. And so I guess what I would say is people who are starting out networking, it's awkward. It is awkward and it is uncomfortable. I do not like going into networking meetings and looking around and everyone's in their small little groups. And then I feel like I'm crashing. I just like walk up to a
Uh-huh.
conversation and just insert myself. I like that feels hard for me a lot of times, but I'm getting more comfortable with it. But just also not assuming that everybody's crushing it, because we don't talk about, like, everyone, they'll go, Erin, you're crushing it. You're crushing it. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Like, I see you on social media. You're everywhere. And I'm like, that's great. Thank you so much. But we don't talk about, hey, like, when was the last time you had a client? Or, hey, we only made X dollars this month, or all of those things, because we're afraid that if we do, it must mean that our business isn't working and it's not successful. And so we
Yeah.
put out this image that everything's fine and is going
Mhm.
great. We don't ask for help because we don't want people who could be our potential clients to think, well, this is stupid or this isn't working. Like, nobody
Right.
else is doing it. Why would I? When really we would all benefit from some honesty
Yeah.
and just saying, yeah, last month sucked for me. How about you? Or I'm in my slow season or whatever it might
Yeah.
be.
That's actually kind of the point that I got at. So we know that when I have the podcast and like the podcast has been kind of like that raw, let's not talk about like, just the polished versions of us. Like let's
Yeah.
just, the real like what's happening. And I feel like transitioning into the wellness business,
Yep.
um, it felt like I had to have this like professional persona, and that's just not like who I am. The more perfect I try to be, like the more I don't want to even do it. And one of the things that I was trying to do is just sound professional and be professional all the time. And then I was like, wait a minute, like why? I feel like people would want to work with me more when they can connect more on that human level. And so that's what kind of started where I think you were seeing like, oh, I'm going backwards into a depressive slump and like, things aren't going great for me either right now, but like that doesn't make me like lesser at what I do and how I do it. And so I started trying to share things about my pig and like all the things that like have been making me sad, because it's just like the human experience. And so what I hope is that people will see that not as like a weakness and like, oh, why would I work with her, like she doesn't have her shit together,
Yeah.
and really think of it as like, oh hey, me too, let's work together. I don't know if it'll
Yeah.
work yet or not, we'll see, but that's
Yeah.
like what the shift I've been going into.
Yeah, like that's somebody who gets it. Like that, if I'm looking at it from a client perspective and I'm like, oh, Samantha is sharing some things with me and, she seems like a person I would hang out with. Like, yeah, that seems like somebody I would want to receive these services from, not somebody where I'm like, all right, I'm not meeting their standards. I feel less about myself. Like, I'm not good enough to be here from a client perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be with somebody that makes me feel crappy. Just like in relationships, we don't want to be with somebody that makes us feel crappy. And
Right.
if we're seeking services from someone that's like opposite of just like building us up and making us feel good and making us feel like we're on the same level, like it doesn't need to be this
Someone
hierarchy.
giving you the nervous sweats.
Yeah. Like sweating through, and it's like, I can't
Yes.
just blame this on perimenopause or menopause.
You know, okay, guys, I'm like healing from my concussion still. So my brain is like jumping around and like forgets things. But what made me talk about going into being more open and honest and sharing was because, like you said, like people just are like, oh, you have it all together. You're doing so well. Someone that I know, we met up and I was like, yeah, man, this is happening. This is going on. And like, I'm just grumpy and sad and just all the time. And she was like, I thought everything was going perfectly well. Like just social media and like, seeing you online, like everything just seems so perfect. And I was like, oh no, that's not what I want to put off. Like I don't want to give off the like fake, like everything is great and perfect. And so then I was like, I should probably start sharing more like honest stuff. That's really where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
There's my brain going backwards. You're welcome.
Your brain is working beautifully.
It's trying to catch up.
It's it's in there. It's great. It's in this conversation perfectly. But yeah, no, that's so true. It's like, yeah, I think that we're going to, from a client perspective, reach out to the people that we can relate to, that feel like can relate to
Mhm.
us. I have a lot of people tell me, my clients tell me, like, I'm saying things to you that I would say majority of my clients are also in therapy. So they see me as a
Mhm.
professional listener and also a therapist. And they're telling me, look, I'm telling you things that I don't tell my therapist, or I'm telling you things that I'm not telling my medical provider. And I'm like, that's
Oh,
really interesting. Like,
why is that?
why is that? And I've really come up with probably two things so far. One is that we want to be liked by the people that are making decisions about us. So I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, I just like had the craziest morning. And then I'm walking into a therapist's office or my doctor's office, and I'm going to be like snippy with them and just like in a bad mood, because I don't want them to think.
This episode is brought to you by Sweet Soul Wellness, an absolute mind makeover for the woman who is ready to reclaim her power. If you are tired of just coping with stress and you want that inner flame fueled back to life, you can do it in just one session. No endless talk therapy, just fast, permanent transformation. Because I'm a little biased and I want you to experience the shift for yourself, I am giving you a free, personalized audio recording to try before you commit. Hit the link in the show notes, claim your gift, and let them watch you rise.
Think that there's something wrong with me, because then they're going to start asking all these questions and they're going to make assumptions about what's going on. And I don't want that. So I give them a really dressed up, polished, pretty version of myself, like, I'm going to just forget the last hour even happened. I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to walk in this office and they're going to ask me, how are you? And I'm going to be like, I'm great. Thanks. How are you this morning? Like, just
Right.
turn it on. Like, we can turn it on.
I just beat my head against the dashboard like, 100 times because I was so angry. But,
Yeah.
I'm
Because
good.
then they're going to be like, are you okay? Like, because, you get those questions in those appointments, and there's standard questions, and I get they have to ask them, but they're like, do you drink alcohol? And you're like, yes. And they're like, how many times per week are you drinking? I'm like, I want to say freaking every day, because like one glass of wine every day. But you don't want to say that, because they're going to be like, oh, do you have a drinking problem? Or they'll be like, in a 14-day period, how many days would you say that you've been sad? Every single one. I'm just saying, like, it could just be that moment in time, and you stop yourself from saying those things because you want them to like you. You don't want them to think something's wrong with you that's not wrong with you.
Right.
And yeah, it's just, so you filter, you edit, you soften, you take those sharp edges and file them down a little bit. And yeah, you put on that happy face, and it's just like, I think the people that tell me the things know that I'm also willing to share things,
Yeah.
either on my social media, or if they ask me a question, like, how would you handle this question? And
Yeah.
give an honest feedback about it. So,
One of my favorite things that I saw from you were what was it, like the wigged out or
oh, my Wigging Out Wednesdays.
have
I have
you,
to get back to doing that.
I thought it's been a minute since I've seen it.
I appreciate you saying that because, okay, here's the thing. People have said they're like, I love your social media. I love your social media. Great. That's awesome. And I'm just making it up. I have no idea. I didn't have social
Okay.
media 2 years ago. I don't know. But then they're like, oh, but you need to educate people and understand what you're doing. And so I switched more to like the educational thing to make sure that people understood what I was doing because they're like, that's how you'll get traction. And I feel like I need to kind of go back to my social media roots of what I was doing and do a combination of both because that was fun for me. That felt creative. That felt like people
And
resonated
it
with it.
sticks with people, like,
Yeah.
I was
I,
loving it.
yeah. So I
That's
stopped
one of
doing it.
the that's like a big thing. I also stopped doing social media and stopped doing all the things because it's like I would do one thing and I would think it was the right thing to do for social media. And then you'd have one person saying, no, you need to go this way. It needs to be educational and it needs to be more professional so that people want to work with you. And then you have this person pulling you this way of like, well, you should actually be doing it this way because this is what's going to resonate with people more. And then it's just like, well, then I'm not going to do it at all because I don't know what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
this doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. And so I don't know. I guess like what both you and I are kind of hearing is or figuring out is like maybe we should just stick to what feels good with us.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I'm so glad that you said that about my Wigging Out Wednesdays because I've stopped doing it I was doing it every Wednesday. And I was like, all right, well, I don't want to confuse the other stuff that I'm now doing. And does it fit in? But you know what?
It doesn't have to fit in.
Yeah, exactly.
If
And
Wednesdays are
that's
your
it right
fun
there.
day.
Yeah, and exactly, and it doesn't have to fit in, and maybe those are our clients, those are our people, the people that are like, "I'm looking for something different. I don't
Mhm.
want the cookie cutter. I don't want what everybody else is doing. I want what you're doing."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I,
it's a
I
good mix.
agree that we probably need to have like some educational stuff like sprinkled
Yeah.
in. You're
Mhm.
not wrong. But like to have everything always be educational, like
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's one of the things like when you start a business is that everyone has a different idea or version of like how you should operate it or start it out, especially since, you and I like we're just like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so then it's like when you start asking people like suggestions and opinions, like everyone's got these wildly different ones. And so then you just get pulled in so many directions and not really know which
Mhm.
direction to go when then we come back to doing what we were doing in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's balancing that, balancing what feels right for you because it is your business. It is your idea and it should reflect what you want it to look like. Not it's great to get some feedback and advice if that's what you want, but ultimately it is your what you're growing and that needs to reflect you and what you
Mhm.
want because otherwise it's not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you end up hiring like a coach, like a what are they called? Business coach
I
or
did. Yep,
you
I've
did?
been doing that, and that's been great with just focusing on it was less about, the dollars and cents and spreadsheets and all of that, and it was and the, day-to-day management of the business. I think that's what a lot of people think of, when they think of business coaches, like, "You're gonna get in here, you're gonna look at all my books, and that's what we're gonna work on," and this was more how do I work on limiting beliefs? What is my brain? How is my brain operating? And how do I kind of I need to retrain my brain to think of what value is and what success is. And how do I, like, if we're always looking for the, if somebody said, all right, name all the things you can see in 30 seconds that are blue and you're just counting all the blue things and then they're like okay how many were yellow, you're going to be like I have no idea, I wasn't looking for yellow, I was only looking
Yeah.
for blue. So how to look for the things that are working instead of focusing on the things that aren't working and training your brain and training yourself, and that has been hugely helpful. And then doing more work on, well, who is my ideal client? Where are they? Where are they? Where do they exist in the world? And how do I speak to them? So that's been really, really helpful. And there are some good places up here too. I don't know where you are, but we have something called SCORE here in New England. It's got to be everywhere, but they do free business coaching where they have people who will mentor you. Um, so if wherever you are in the process of your business, if you're just looking for somebody to help you and you're a small business and maybe you can't afford a business coach, or maybe you just need just another perspective, they will pair you with other business leaders, professionals, and they'll help you work through whether it's marketing or kind of dealing with those limiting beliefs or how to budget, and they'll work on those things with you. And it's free.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've been teetering on. It's like, I feel like a business coach would be a good idea. And then there's she was my second episode of this season. She's essentially like a type of business coach, and she's like top of the top of like who you want to be. Like, and so, like, yeah, you probably want to work with her. But then it's like, there's that little voice that's like, well, there's so many businesses coaches, and how do you know that's the right one and like it's gonna work for you?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
then I ended up not doing any.
Mhm. Okay. And it's really, thinking about what is it in your business that you're looking for? Like, what do you need help with? And finding somebody who can help you with that specific thing. And, I was told like there are going to be coaches who are going to tell you that you're going to get, if you work with me, you're going to grow your business by X percent or get X amount of clients or make X amount of dollars
Mhm.
in the next blah, blah, blah. Like those are the ones I've been told anyway that you want to avoid because nobody can promise that to you. And if
Predict.
they are right, and if they are, then there's something else going on there. Like that's a quick, easy fix. And coaching that's going to be sustainable and that is really going to make a difference in your business and your life really are going to be ones that are working on the actual issues with you. And it's not just about what's the quick fix? How can we do this as quickly as possible? Because then you're not dealing with the underlying stuff, whatever that underlying stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like therapy. They're not going to just like hopefully slap something on you and send you on your way. Like,
Right.
what
I
quick fix?
promise that
No.
you're gonna not need therapy in 6 months.
Yeah, and like, or hey, just take this quick fix pill and everything will be better. Like,
Yeah,
you got to be that's a little suspect.
that is true.
It sounds
I
good though. It
it
sounds
sounds good.
so good. It sounds so good. And I've done this. It sounds so good to the people who, you're a new business owner and you're like, I left my job. I want to get money as soon as possible. I want to make sure I'm contributing to my household. So you're like, okay, what's the thing that I need to
Mm-hmm.
do? So you're spending all this money and it's like, what if that doesn't happen? And what if it doesn't work that way? Like everybody would be doing it if somebody was like, okay, in the next month you just started, and I'm going to make sure you get $10,000. Like who wouldn't do that?
Yeah.
But it feeds off of your fears of scarcity, money scarcity, confidence scarcity. So you get on those calls and I've been on them and I like, oh yeah, I think maybe I should totally sign up for this. I think like, yep, this is going to solve everything. And it doesn't. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't
Yeah.
because it's not a quick fix like that.
No. And we touched on this a little bit when we first connected before we hit record. You're 2 years into
Yep.
your business. I'm a little over half a year into the wellness venture. What toll have you noticed or felt like it's taking on you to have created this thing?
I think there was definitely within even the first year a confidence issue. I went from a job where I was super respected. Everyone in the state knew who I was. I was an expert but within my job, an expert on domestic violence. Like I'm the person that people went to. Like then I left that job I changed my name because I got remarried. So like there was literally nothing anyone could find about Erin Snow on the internet other than like some ski brand, which I'm sure is very nice, but like some clothing ski brand. There's another Erin Snow out there, but there was like nothing. So all the stuff that I had done before, all the articles, all the things that all my accomplishments, it was like I wasn't anybody. And I was like, who? And then I didn't have clients right away. And I was like, oh, well, this was stupid and nobody knows who I am. And I'm starting from scratch. And so I felt like that was really, really hard. I doubted myself. I was like, I'm just going to give up. This was stupid. I'm going to just go back and get a legal job again. I can do that. No problem. But my husband, thankfully, he's an entrepreneur too. And he's seen this a lot. And he's like, look, it is not easy. That's why most people don't do it. They give up, but you've got a great idea. Just keep going and it will happen. It's just not going to happen like as quickly as you think it's going to happen. And now that I've, really learned to say no, set boundaries, spend money on the things that are actually going to make a difference for me and the business. I don't have to try all the things. I don't have to throw all the spaghetti at the wall. That's where I'm starting to see growth. And that feels really good. And so yeah, I have been up and down and across and in circles a lot, but I am confident in myself and separately this business now. And the toll is it was hard, but I think it's definitely I've seen things about I've grown in a way that I didn't anticipate. I guess I'll just say that. Grown in a way that I did not anticipate. And while it was hard and it was difficult, and there were plenty of times where I was like, I'm going to give up. I am so glad that I didn't, because just learning new things about myself and different kind of strength and a different kind of confidence that I didn't have before. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely, I think, what the podcast gave me, but like on steroids. And so then when I started the wellness business and it wasn't like that, I was like, oh.
yeah. Yeah. And I think that we just have this set idea of it's going to take X amount of days or X amount of months and it's going to bring X amount of dollars into my bank account. And I don't know where we set those expectations, where that comes in, but when we don't meet those, and they're unrealistic expectations, most likely, and when we don't meet those, then we're like so hard on ourselves and we're like, we're failures and this was stupid. And why would anyone do this? And like, it's hard to get past that. It is hard to get past that and not give up. But I would just say, if you have an idea and you believe in it and in your gut, you're like, no, this is what I'm meant to be doing, it will work. It will be work to make it work, but it will work and it will be beautiful and you'll be so happy.
I'll get there eventually. I'm glad that you like you feel like you have figured it out.
I'm figuring it out. I mean, I don't think I have everything, exactly. But I'm definitely on a path where I'm like, okay, I am figuring this out. I'm capable of figuring out. I will figure it out. Like there's a positive energy around it versus, oh my gosh, I just feel like I'm walking up the hill and sliding down. And this is what my coach has said to me. So yeah, it is an upward climb, but every time you take like a little slide back, you're not sliding back to the base of the mountain. Like you're up and maybe you come back a little, but then you're going back further, you're going up further. And then if you fall, it's a little back. You're not falling all the way back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how yeah, that makes sense. One of the things that I noticed for myself was that before I started the podcast, I was this version that I did not like, I didn't know who I was and, what my purpose was and just like anything about myself. And then as I started the podcast and meeting people who had been there at some point, but then found ways that contributed to their life and made them, learn more things about them. And then eventually learning like what self-care like actually is and what it can be and stuff like that. So then you start incorporating that and then it just like kickstarts your day every day. And then it gives you that mental capacity to handle whatever comes at you. in a reasonable way, to where like I know that for about a year and a half, like nothing really bothered me. Like I had my routine, shit would happen, but could be worse. We're going to keep on going. But then just it got to the point where I was like, man, you know what? I'm too tired to journal today, so I'm just not going to do that. But then never do it the next day and it doesn't start up again. And then it's like, I actually don't feel like going on a walk today. And then you just don't do that. And then so then you go down this like slope a little bit. And then I had to like remind myself, like, no, I have all the tools to get back to where I was. So it wasn't like a full slide down to like, I don't know who I am. We know who I am. We know like what makes me feel good. So now we just got to start baby stepping into like bringing that back in. And that's just, kind of like that slope, I guess, in business. A way to think about it is that it's not like a start. You still have that knowledge. So it's not like a start from the bottom.
Exactly. And just like giving ourselves grace that we're not going to be perfect at it all the time. Like we're just not. And there are going to be days where we do need to break and we're not going to journal every day, or we are going to do the walk. That's okay. But like next day. It's okay to take a break, but next day, right?
Yeah. Making yourself do it. So something that we haven't done this season is the fail of the day or the fail of the week or whatever. And I feel like you are the perfect person that would play along with me.
Okay, sure.
All right, so
I'm not your fail of the week though, right?
What?
I'm not your fail of the week though.
No, why would it be the fail? I've been looking forward to this recording. God, you're so silly. No, my fail. So I got this pig, right? Irrationally. I don't know why I got a pig. It's just there was a baby pig and I was like, oh, I need a new baby in the life, to nourish. Well, I'll figure it out. So I bring this pig home. I know nothing about pigs. And I got this puppy pen from Walmart. And I was like, okay. And I put it in the grass. I built it up. And then it came with like little like stake things. And I don't know if I couldn't find the instructions or if I just didn't bother. I'm not real sure. And so I took the little stakey thingies and I tried to stick them in the ground to like kind of hold the kennel down or like the playpen down to the ground. I couldn't like really get him in the ground and I like got a hammer and I was trying and it just wasn't really working. So I was like, this is good enough. And I put the baby pig into the puppy playpen. I checked on him every hour at least and he was still in the pen. And I was like, okay, I got this. I didn't check on him for an hour and a half. I go outside to get ready to get in the car to go pick the kids up from school, and he's not there.
Oh, no.
The pin is intact, too. So I'm like, did a hawk grab him? What has happened to my pig? And I was terrified. And I was like, I don't have time to be terrified right now. So I'm going to get in my car. And I'm like, what happened to my pig? And so I called my neighbor and I was like, my pig is missing. And she was like, do you want me to go look for it? And I was like, yes, please. Because if I find it and it's dead, I'm going to feel so bad. Like so bad that I brought this pig home for it to die. And so she goes looking for it while I'm gone and she finds it. He's sleeping under my front porch. And I'm like, okay, great. My husband beats me home to go help try and catch the baby pig. He was not happy by the time I made it home because, one, I should have known that, like, pigs cannot just stay in these little playpens. Like, that's not going to hold it. And him and the neighbor chased the pig around 5 acres. And before I got home, still couldn't catch the pig. And so then I got home and there was 8 of us trying to catch this little baby pig. And after, I think 2 hours later, 8 people later, we finally like got a soccer net and we were able to like net him down and catch him. And it's like, yeah, so I should have known that a puppy pen was not going to hold this pig, but we got it back. And now I know not to put him in a puppy pen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but how did it get out? How did it get out? If he's
so they like I think because he roots and because I didn't get the stakes like into the ground and I called it good
Oh,
enough, I think he was
okay.
able to pick up the kennel enough and slide under it. Um,
Okay. Well, I
so
think you did the best that you could. Like
that's what I said.
I think that was a fair assessment that the
I
pig
was
was
like,
neither
how
going
was
to
I
jump
supposed to
the
know?
fence. Yeah, exactly. I get it. And let me tell you, catching a pig is hard because we have 4-H fairs around here where like you enter contests to catch
So,
pigs.
are you serious? So you can imagine the madness that was happening while we're
Yeah.
all
Like, and that's in like an enclosed pen where you have to try and catch the pig. And the pig is slippery, like they mud it up or something. I don't know. And then like you catch the pigs, but like that's really hard to do. And it is an actual competition. So the fact that you did it on 5 acres is pretty impressive.
right. I mean, we succeeded eventually, and now I just know like you got to actually make sure they can't, pick something
Yeah.
up.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
That was my fail.
Yep. Okay. Well, yeah, I think you still did the best. I wouldn't call it a fail. You did great.
It was a lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned. There you go.
All right, hit me with one.
Okay, so we are in the process of listing our house for sale. And 2 weekends ago, my husband was, I signed him up for a weekend long workshop. He was really excited about it. I'm like,
Oh,
you go. I'm going to take care of things here. I'm going to start cleaning out the garage and throwing things in a dumpster. So he has this massage chair, not a table, a massage chair. It's like a folding, the thing is so ridiculous looking.
like one of
So
those things that
yeah,
cup
but
your.
not like a lazy boy or a recliner. It is literally, it looks like a metal folding chair, but has
Oh,
like a mat or something that goes over it, and it vibrates and does all the massage things. And a hairdresser gave it to him. She's like, I'm not using this anymore. Well, shocker, the thing's like probably recalled. So it's been in our basement. And I was like, well, he's not here. I'm going to put it outside for free. Like I had a whole bunch of stuff out there for free. Well, again, shocker, nobody took it. So he comes home at the end of day one and he's like, why is my chair outside? And I was like, babe, like no one, you don't use it. When was the last time you sat in that thing? It's probably like 100 years old. Like we don't need it. So I don't remember what I did. I went somewhere. I come back, the chair is inside our TV room, plugged in, and he's like, I'm using it. And I was like, okay. Next day, he goes on his second day of the workshop, and I was like, I'm not understanding. Like, was this meant like he wants to keep it? He didn't say I shouldn't have had it outside. I was like, I'm bringing it outside again. This thing is heavy. It's very, very heavy. And so I'm home and I pick it up so it's facing me. So the arms are facing me. And I pick it up from the arms. That's what causes it to fold. Now there are these metal pieces, like I don't know I don't know what kind of metal it is, but thin metal pieces. And my fingers are under, so I lift it up and that's where it folds and the chair starts folding and the metal starts going into my hands. And it's folding and folding. And I'm like, oh my God, my hands are gonna, my fingers are gonna be amputated. This is not cool. Like I'm screaming for my daughter like I've never screamed before. And I'm like, get the chair off me. She's like, what's the matter? She thinks that my dog has come in with a mouse and she doesn't want to come downstairs because she doesn't want to see my dog like catching a mouse or something like that, and doesn't understand that I'm about to lose fingers. So I'm like, just get down here. She's like, but why do you need me? And I'm like, please just come down. So she runs down. She sees me with the chair folding itself on my fingers. And so she finally is able to get the chair off of me. And I'm like, I can't look at my hand. It was okay. I broke up to like 2 fingers, I think. We're not really sure, but I was like, all right, I thought they were off. I thought they were on the ground, like I jumping around, like my fingers just jumping around on the floor. And I was too panicked to look at it. I was like, I can't. I don't even want to see it. But I did, and I was like, all right, I guess I should probably go to the doctors. But I was like, first I'm taking that damn chair outside. And they're like, don't touch the chair. I'm like, that chair is going in the dumpster and it's staying in the dumpster. So we got the chair in the dumpster. But yes, that was my fail, was not making my husband throw it away.
Right. I would have been fucking pissed that he brought it back in. I've been like, I'm so glad that you did this. Now to put it back. I mean, did you like feel bad or anything about like your fingers, like your poor fingers?
Well, so I didn't tell him because he, I didn't want to bother him. I went to the urgent care. It was a ridiculously long wait. I'm like, my fingers looked all messed up.
God.
And it was just, and so I still didn't tell him. And then I was scheduled to take my kids to go see the Zac Brown concert that night at Fenway. And they're like, are you still going to be able to take us? I'm like, yes. So my hand's like, I've got 2 splints on it. I can't drive. So I have to take the splints off. And then I still didn't tell my husband, but I thought the other kids would tell him when he got home. So I call him and I'm like acting all like, hey, how's it going? He's like, great. I hope you have so much fun at the concert. And then ends the call. And I'm like, he didn't even ask me about my fingers. And he's like, well, I thought that, he's like, I did hear, but I knew you were at the concert. And I just thought if it was really bad, then, you probably would have said something. It's like, oh my God.
This
No.
is why men drive us crazy.
Yes. Like I would have been like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. How are your fingers? I really appreciate every, and he was like, oh yeah, I thought if it was okay. And I assumed I'd just talk to you about it when you got home. Yeah. I was like, that chair is never coming inside again. It's gone.
Absolutely not. I would say that I now have veto power for at least the next 10 years. So if I say something's going or coming into the house, I almost lost fingers for it. So
yeah. Yeah. It was so scary.
coming back on, and I feel like we'll have to do some more.
Yeah, absolutely. We could do a Wigging Out Wednesday together. We could do a live.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you like the episode that you heard today? Great! Share it with a friend and don't forget to rate and review.